What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fam, 49er gang? It's Dion back with another video, hitting y'all with this one about the running backs. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, keep them post notifications turned on so you can keep yourself up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. So I told y'all I was going to be hitting y'all with position groups. So it's very simple. Next up, we got the running backs. I already took care of the QBs, and that's a very easy one. This next one's going to be a little bit harder. Now, let's go ahead and start off with the first running back that we got here. Raheem the Dream Mostert. The Mosterazi, all Mosterati, all that shit that they give him, all the nicknames. I like Raheem the Dream personally. That's just the one that I came up with. And plus, it's the one that's kind of been circling around everywhere. So, that being said, Raheem the Dream. We got him signed through 2021 because we gave him that 3-year deal. And we got him cheap, people. He's on like an $8.4 million contract. So, if this dude runs his way like he did this year, yeah, we going to have to... he going to come to us. His agent going to come to us going, hey, how y'all doing, man? Jed, come sit down and talk with me, baby. Go on, look, man, let me dig in these pockets and get a little bit more money. So that's basically how it's going to work. But through 16 games, Raheem the Dream gave us 772 yards. He averaged 5.6 yards per carry. He has 8 TDs. He only had 1 fumble. He only had 1 game over 100 yards. But that's strictly because we're a running back by committee. We always have been. We always will be. That's not going to be nothing new. And his first 5 games, he barely played. Like, he wasn't getting no PT at all. And I can tell y'all that because I saw it. You know what I'm saying? Raheem, the first 5 games, was a gunner. He was a gunner on special teams, and he did his job, and he did it admirably. So, with that being said, let's keep going with the information here. So, last 6 games of the season, he scored a TD in every single one of them. And the biggest thing is that Raheem was doing what he was doing late in the season because Matt Breida went down. Tevin Coleman got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So we had to do what we had to do. We were making everything go, and we were doing everything that we needed to do to make sure that, we kept the running game going, man. We were the second best rushing attack in the league behind Baltimore. So then in the playoffs it comes. He had 336 yards total. And his biggest game was against Green Bay, where he went the fuck off. 220 yards, ran all over Green Bay. They couldn't stop the run to save their life. And then in the Super Bowl and against Minnesota, respectively, he both of those games he had about 58 yards. But he still was, doing what he needed to do. He's still averaging about 4.4 yards a carry. So it definitely wasn't a problem. And, you know what I'm saying? In the regular season, 14 receptions, 180 yards, 12.9 yards per catch, 2 TDs. His longest catch was 39 yards. And that was from Emmanuel Sanders, chucking up that ball and doing what he needed to do. And then on special teams as well, man. This dude had 11 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, and a fumble recovery. So, first off, Raheem the Dream is a no-brainer. He should be the starter next season. He did what he did. He's always been, faithful to us. He's been loyal to us. The man has the story. If you don't know what his story is, you definitely try to check it out. I think he's been cut by 7 different teams. He keeps those cut dates. He makes sure he reminds himself that people didn't believe in him and thought he wasn't good enough. And he's more than appreciative of the 49ers for showing faith in him and giving him a chance to be able to be out there and do what he does. Very humble dude, comes from Florida, loves to surf. And at the same time, man, when you watch him run the ball, Raheem's a one-cut guy. You know what I mean? He can run in between the tackles. He can run east and west. He can catch out of the backfield. The guy does it all. But in Shanahan's system, that's what it is. If you're a running back, you got to do it all. Like, you have to be able to catch. You got to be able to block. You got to be able to run the ball. Like, you have to be able to do everything to be able to stay on the team. And Raheem has played himself into the starting role. Now, of course, like I said before, it's running back by committee, but at the end of the day, I still believe that he should still get a chance to be the starter because of what he did. And at the same time, look what he did in the playoffs, man. Had we just kept giving him the damn ball in the Super Bowl, we'd be champs right now. That's besides the point. So we'll move on to the next running back on the roster. Now, that's Matt Breida. Matt Breida is a restricted free agent. Played 13 games, 623 yards, averaged 5.1 yards per carry. His longest run was that 83-yard run where he topped off at 22.3 miles per hour. Fastest man in the league this year. That's the real cheetah, Matt Breida. Ain't gonna Tyreek Hill over here talking that shit. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, next up, we have, he had one touchdown, 2 fumbles. He had 19 catches out of the backfield for 120 yards, 6.3 yards per catch. His longest catch was 17 yards. The thing that was the issue with Matt Breida, and it's been this way since his whole career, is that the guy gets injured too easily. And that's the problem. So we don't want to wind up missing, you know what I'm saying, what he's doing, but he gets injured, and he gets injured often. So that's the biggest problem with him. So you'll have Matt Breida maybe, you know, a mix of the time, not all the time, but it's an unfortunate thing because he's always there. And you love him because of the speed he brings. You love him because of what he can do out of the backfield. He's great catching the ball out of the backfield. He's pretty good at blocking. But because of the emergence of Raheem Mostert, he was relegated pretty much to the special teams. You know, he didn't get many carries. They were really just mixing it up with TC and Raheem. They basically benched him altogether. And it's unfortunate that happened, but, you know, you got to roll with the hot hand. And, you know, with the way Raheem was running, it was good. And he wasn't getting injured. Raheem was running, and he was making plays, and it was a continual thing. So the biggest issue with Matt Breida is, what do we do with him now? How do we, therefore, take him and, you know, continue to keep him? When we have such a crowded running back room, it's one of the worst things in the world. It's a good problem to have because we have great backs. And that's the issue that we face. You know, we've got really, really good, you know, running backs all across the board. So, the next person up on our list is TC, Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman, we got him for one more year. He is under contract, technically speaking. So, he played 14 games, 544 yards, averaged about 4 yards a carry. His longest run was 48 yards, and he had about 6 TDs. He did not fumble the ball, which is fantastic. That's always great. 21 catches out the backfield, 180 yards, 8.6 yards per catch, and 1 TD. For the playoffs, he only had 154 yards. He did have 2 TDs against Minnesota. He had no touchdowns against Green Bay and/or in the Super Bowl. And in the regular season, he himself only had 1 game over 100 yards, and that was against Carolina, where he went the fuck off. He had 3 TDs rushing. He had 1 TD catching, so he just went crazy in that game. Now, Tevin Coleman is perfect for Kyle Shanahan's system, and we all know this. It's been proven that, you know, Coleman works out well because of his versatility and what he brings to the table. Plus, he already knew the system because he was there with Kyle when he was in Atlanta. So, keeping Tevin Coleman is great. You know what I mean? Because if you just have Tevin Coleman, you have Raheem the Dream, you know, and you just kind of, you can keep stashing Jeff Wilson, you know, and keeping him there at a cheap rate. That's a perfect 3-headed monster. And then we have the wasteful Jerick McKinnon, who has done nothing for us for 2 years but suck up cap space and take up a space on the roster. You know, we had to put him on IR for 2 years. His ACL just was not working with him. And I fear that because Shanahan has such a love for the guy, he's going to fuck around and keep him. And it's the dumbest thing you can do. The guy's getting paid way too much money. I don't want to rework his contract. I say cut him. At this point, I say you probably should be better off rolling with TC, Raheem the Dream, and Jeff Wilson Jr. I love Matt Breida, but he spends more time injured than he does, on the field and doing what he needs to do. So it hurts to say it, but we got to go ahead and we got to let him go. And hopefully he can find himself a new home and be able to make sure that he does exactly, what he's supposed to do. But Jeff Wilson Jr. did play 10 games. He had 105 yards, 3.9 yards per carry, 4 TDs. His longest run was 25 yards. He had no fumbles, 3 catches, 34 yards, 11.3 yards per catch, and 1 TD. His longest catch was 25 yards. He is an exclusive rights free agent. So I'm not up on all the lingo as far as how the exclusive rights free agents work, but I know that we basically got first crack at him. But I think we can keep Jeff Wilson Jr. if we give him a nice little deal. People probably know what he can do, so he might be a pretty viable target on the free agent market if we do let him walk. The reason being is because his first 2 games that he did play this year, what happened? You have Jeff Wilson Jr. out there making it go the right way. Scored 2 touchdowns versus Cincy. Next 2 touchdowns, I forget who we played in the second. I think it was Pittsburgh. And then next thing you know, in Arizona, he caught that game-winning TD from Jimmy G. And the funny thing is, that ball was behind him. That ball was not thrown properly. And he still brought it down and took it right up at the gut. Gone. Touchdown. So we got a crowded running back room, man. We got Matt Breida. We got Jeff Wilson Jr. We got touchdown TC. And we got Raheem the Dream. To me, it's real simple. Rework TC's contract, maybe stretch it out to where we give him like another year or something. And then go ahead, cut Jerick McKinnon and, let Matt Breida walk. That's it. We got too many backs, and we got too many great backs for us to not, that's such a fantastic problem to have. But at the end of the day, I still say it's going to be like this. I would rather go with, Tevin Coleman, Raheem Mostert, and Jeff Wilson Jr. Those are the 3 backs that I would go with. I love Matt Breida. I love his speed. I love what he can do. But they just lost faith in him, man. Like, he was fumbling. He had just a couple fumbles this year, but people seem to be trying to strip the ball up from him pretty quickly, and it seemed to be an easy thing to do. So if you notice toward the end of the year, guys, if you really are watching, they basically lost faith in him, man. They sat him down. Raheem took over, So I don't know what they'll do. I'm not the GM. I'm just a fan that has this channel and this platform to say what I want to say, when I want to say it, and how I want to say it. You leave it to me. We got 2 QBs, Nick Mullins, Jimmy Garoppolo, and we got 3 running backs, Jeff Wilson Jr., Tevin Coleman, and Raheem the Dream. Y'all say 49er faithful. Y'all say 49er blessed. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep me posted on how y'all feel about this, because I think this would be a great thing for us to continually, as fans, take a look at what can and cannot happen. But y'all have yourselves a wonderful, blessed day. I'm out.